Hey y'all, it's Jeanette, the inspirational nurse. I just got back from a crazy day at work and just want to throw a challenge out there. Are you a responder or are you a reactor? When something happens in the beginning of your day or any part of your day and you're just like, and you let it totally ruin your mood and you just let it totally paint your whole day and you're telling everybody about it and it sours your mood, it affects you for the rest of the day, a few minutes longer than it should. I want to challenge you to be more responsive instead of reactive. It's something that we all have to work on, and it's going to make you so much happier and so much more successful because you're going to be way less emotional about stuff and you're going to have way more control over your life and your emotions, and you're going to be way prouder of yourself of how you handled situations. This is something I work on all the time, especially with my husband. You know, the most emotional relationships usually are, it's hard to not react defensively, but you can choose to not let your circumstances at work, what people say to you, what happens, how crazy it gets, you can choose to not let it ruin your day, ruin your attitude. You can choose in advance what your attitude is going to be. And this is where visualization helps me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to envision a crazy day at work, and I'm going to envision myself being calm and smiling and just going along with it and making the absolute best out of it. And it's hard to do, and sometimes you're faking it till you're making it, whereas you're like, I'm getting another patient, and okay, but smiling like that and just, laughing about it and reflecting later on it, and you can leave and you have your head held high that you did a good job. Maybe you were a little, you got a little thrown off, but that's okay. We can all have room for improvement. And today, I had some crazy situations, and I'm reflecting, and I have some room for improvement. But there's also areas where I know I have improved, like, wow, something happened that frustrated me this morning, but I didn't let it carry over into my entire day and make my whole day miserable. You're giving away your power to those people that aren't even thinking about you. Somebody spoke wrong to you. Somebody, your flight got canceled. Somebody cut you off in traffic, and you're expending all this energy on people who aren't even giving you a second thought. And circumstances that you just can't control, like it raining or your flight getting canceled. Zig Ziglar's telling the story about how his flight got canceled, and he's like, fantastic! I get to spend 4 hours in this airport and relax. And did he really feel that way? No, he wanted to get home. He wanted to get home to his wife. He was tired. But he chose in advance to have a reaction like, all right, great, I'm just going to deal with this circumstance, and it affects the people around you in a positive way. It affects you in a positive way, and it gives you more control over your life and makes you feel like less vulnerable to the world because you know that you can choose to have a positive response as opposed to reacting. Somebody says something to you and you just take a step back and you don't say anything mean back. You take a step back and you give grace and mercy, and you don't react in the moment because you're always going to regret those times. And even if you do react in the moment, take a step back and just say, no, I'm not going to let this affect my life, affect the rest of my day, and just try to continually improve and just see how well you do. Some people do this great. They are reflective and they don't respond in the moment, but I can be fiery and be like dramatic, but don't let those people have that power over you. Don't let people who don't mean anything to you make you feel less than you are. Be proud of how you respond to situations, no matter how difficult they are treating you, no matter how, inflexible they're being. Just say, okay, and just have the best day that you can have, and let things just roll off your shoulders. Learn from what you can from those situations, but respond instead of reacting in the moment and letting emotions rule your life. It's a really poor way to live because you're like, oh my God, anything terrible could happen, and then my day's going to be ruined and my life's going to be ruined, and that's a terrible way to live. So, are you a responder or are you a reactor? And we all can get better at both. And after this long, crazy day I had at work, I'm reflecting and seeing in the situations where I could be better at just responding, and how I did do a better job responding, and how I could be better at not reacting in the moment, taking the time to think and say, is this response going to make me happier? Is this response really aligning with my goals and who I am? Or is this just out of emotion, and it's really not fair to people to expose them to my just raw emotions? But should I take time to think about how I'm going to react, and react in a kind, generous way? And that's going to make you so much happier, people around you so much happier, and you're going to be able to have your head held high knowing that you responded to the situation the best that you could and the best at your ability, and that you can learn something from it. Even if it's something that you didn't wish had happened, you can learn something from it, and at least you handled yourself in a good way. And you didn't let somebody who you don't even know, or somebody you do know, make you feel badly and affect the rest of your day. So, are you a responder or are you a reactor? And if so, try to be better at responding to life and not reacting to life, and don't give away that power, because that power is yours, and it's a choice that you can make, and it's going to make you way more successful and way more happy in your life, because you can choose at the end of a crazy day, say, hey, I'm not going to let whatever happened affect the way that the rest of my life, the rest of my day goes, and my mindset. I'm going to stay positive no matter how much negativity is around me. I'm going to keep myself pumped up, and that's that. And that's where your real power comes from, for making that decision in advance. All right, guys. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.